grind, to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth. Every story, every journey, every climb from the shelf. Here's to the drive, to the fight, to pursuit of wealth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Wealth podcast here with Mr. Co-host Jace Wright. Today is April Fool's Day. Jace's favorite.
I hate April Fool's.
He calls it a holiday.
I hate today.
I don't know if it's a holiday, but
I'm a pretty gullible person.
very gullible.
And so days like today piss me off
Oh.
because I fall for everything.
He fell for the local Trader Joe's joke this morning.
Awful.
Somebody really put a lot of time and effort into that. So props to whoever did that. You really did. I mean, our team was blown up this morning about it because there was a legit sign on a building that said Trader Joe's was coming. And then somebody even created job applications on Indeed or something for jobs.
Absolutely insane.
It's good. I mean, well played. So Jace fell for that one.
Did.
And then right when we sat down for this podcast, he's like, dude, look at the new stadium that Utah State's building. It's literally a football field.
No, it wasn't a stadium. It was just the football field design. And it had a bunch of cows, looking
cow.
stuff. And
why would anybody?
okay, in my defense, the gullible person in me,
Yeah.
when I see stuff and question whether or not it's AI,
Yeah.
I look to see who posted it.
Yeah.
And if it's the official page, I take that as okay, this is legit.
Yeah.
Utah State's actual page posted it. And in my brain, I'm not thinking it's
April Fool's.
freaking April Fool's Day. And so I'm like, wow, this is a bold move by them. And I show it to you and immediately you're like, that's April Fool's. And I'm like, suck.
I'm like, dude, how would anybody know? You couldn't even look at the field. It was so distracting. Man, that's gonna be terrible.
Oh, it's awful. I can't wait till today's over.
Oh yeah, we're let's vent a little bit today because today's actually been a freaking day. I don't feel good. My head hurts. I'm gonna complain here for a second.
Fine. That's fine.
Just vent it out.
We're real here.
We're real. I literally texted Bree on my way out of the house. Once I left the house, I'm like, I am not in a good mood today. And then from there, knowing that I sent that text right when I left the house, and then the day unfolded the way it did, just is kind of somewhat comical. Showed up to what I thought was an appointment with Kyle to film. That I was there at 9:30. Look at my text. He's not here. I'm like, that's weird. Kyle's usually on time. Go back to my text. Well, I never responded to him last night to confirm the time.
Yeah.
And let alone it wasn't even the right time. He said 9 and I showed up at 9:30. So I'm like, okay, that's my fault. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Go to my next appointment. Get there. Today's Wednesday. It's my kind of relaxing day. I had a personal finance meeting this morning with AG, just kind of updated our balance sheet and everything. And then I was going to go get my massage. So I was stoked. I'm like, you know what? I don't feel good. I'm just going to go get my massage. Show up at Exhale, walk in, and she kind of looks surprised to see me. And they know who I am. And I'm like, no, don't
do it.
She's like, are you checking in? I'm like, yeah. What time? I'm like, I had it for 11. She's like, I only see one on April 15th for 11. I'm like, mother trucker. I'm not even here April 15th. I'm gone. So I was like, all right, cool. That's just, that's the way the day goes. And and then the worst part is I looked and dude, they're completely booked the whole month of April.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was on a weekly routine. It's on me. I stopped scheduling, but I'm supposed to run my marathon in 3 weeks. I wanted to make sure I got a weekly one this week. Cause as we're I ran 20 miles last weekend. My legs hurt. So I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to go. I got to go find another massage person because I need to get a massage. So that happened. Then you know what? I was like, you know what? This is not a good day. Texted Brie about it. She's at this point oh man, this is rough. And she's like, go work at a coffee shop. She's like, I like coffee. That'll make me happy. Well, I'm like, I look in the back of my truck. I don't have my backpack or my computer with me. I'm like, it's at home. So you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna go home to grab it. I'm just gonna go home and grab my gym clothes. Because today was supposed to be a relaxing day. I was going to just grab my gym clothes and go to the gym, burn some steam. I get to the gym, dude. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I feel weak right now. So I literally I just went in the sauna and I just sat in the sauna and I texted my assistant while I'm in the sauna. I'm like, hey, she was out looking at Jefferson for something at one of our flips. I said, hey, on your way back to the office, can you just grab me lunch? I want Zupa's little protein power bowl. And it's got lettuce and all that stuff. And so I'm stoked, get to the office to have this. I look, they forgot my freaking dressing. So I had a dry ass salad for lunch. Dude, I was just Brie just looks at me, she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's kind of comical at this point.
Right.
It's April Fool's and whatever's going to go wrong today is probably going to go wrong. Oh, and then in between all of that, I woke up to a text that one of our fourplexes in Pocatello, the tenant reached out last night to the property management company and was like, hey, we've got water coming in through our light fixture in the ceiling. Sick.
Yeah.
So now we're dealing with that.
Not all glamorous.
It is not all glamorous. And the funny part is like, I woke up feeling just off. Like I'm just like, today's just not a good day. And it's funny because honestly, like this week I've been really jacked on life and on business. We've got a lot of stuff going on. And then for some reason, like even last night, me and Bree were talking about AI stuff that's happening. Like we're working on an AI TC system for the team that we're really excited about, and all the things that we've got going on, and they're all good things. And then today I just woke up and I'm like, it kind of caught up to me, and I just like was like kind of stressed and anxious. I could just feel it. And that's kind of how entrepreneurship is. Like if you're a business owner, you have like really high highs, and then you have like get kicked in the nuts lows.
And you're allowed to have those days.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, like at this point, I'm like, all right, I pretty much kept my day open. I worked on a few things, but I'm like, I'm just going to film the podcast, and I got my haircut later today. Hopefully that goes well.
Yeah.
And we'll be all right.
hopefully it's booked. Like you're actually booked.
I did get a confirmation text. Yeah. Like Coy confirmed. I would lose my mind because I'm 2 weeks behind on my haircut too. So, anyway,
If it makes you feel any better, I also got Zupas for lunch.
I saw that when you walked in.
I did. My order was completely correct.
Wow.
And I had a great soup and, a little dinner roll with a chocolate covered strawberry and some cheesecake.
I want to kick you in the nuts. Like that's how just mad I am today. Because I saw you walking with Zupa and I was like, oh, maybe Jace, did he go pick up the Zupas with them? Maybe he added to the order? Yeah, I'm glad. And when I literally came in here and I was like, yeah, today's been a day. You're like, today's been great.
It's been a great day.
It's been a great day. Jace is like, what are you stressed about? I'm like, Jace, I have a lot going on. He's like,
Need to take you golfing.
yeah, we need to go
Get
golfing.
you on the golf course.
Oh, it's just completely like it's so funny. That's why like we have a good yin and yang because life is different for us. Jace really does not have a lot of stressors in his life. Really, kind of. I mean, yes, you're a husband, you're a father, you work.
Normal stresses.
You have normal stresses, but you're really good at limit. Like we've talked about this in the last podcast. You're like, yeah, I could do more, but why? And I'm over here like, add it to the plate. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then I'm like, why am I doing all this stuff? Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
you want to know what you really need, and this is speaking from experience. You need a good nap.
I about almost fell asleep on my desk.
Yeah,
My head was hurting so bad.
you literally go home at like 1, take a solid nap till like 3. Nothing beats an afternoon nap.
I have never done that in my whole life.
You need to try it. It's life changing.
I don't know if my body would let me.
You could.
Okay, we're actually gonna
Totally
spin this off. Because we had Austin during my finance meeting with him this morning. We talked a little bit about this, actually about us.
Okay.
In our previous episode, because I told him too. I'm very upfront because like usually I'm a very happy, motivated person, and when I'm having a bad day and I really don't want to talk to anybody. I'm gonna let them know so they don't just think like something's wrong. So I told him too, like, dude, I just feel weird today. Like, I feel a little bit burnt out, a little bit stressed. So, and we started talking a little bit about it. And it's funny because he said the same thing. It's like, we talked about happiness and like contentment, and ultimately like happiness comes from just being content, not wanting more. But like, I don't know, how do you train that? Like, I'm wired to like, some people need motivation to go do stuff. I'm like, I don't really need motivation to go do stuff. Like I actually want to be doing work and stuff all the time. But how do you train the other side to be like, to turn it off? And can you train it? Are you wired differently? Like what is because we brought up you. I'm like, Jace is actually really good at this because the content or like the discontent comes from thinking I could, where my capabilities I think I am capable of, and that like I'm not there yet. So that's where there's a gap.
Right.
And that's where the discontent comes from. You know that there's still a gap in your potential and where you're at, but you don't have that same discontent.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know if it's a wired differently thing. Cause like on the flip side, there's been days where like I do too much of just nothing and I feel like absolute garbage. Like what the freak did I do today?
Yeah.
Right? So there's, we've talked about it multiple times. There's a balance with it all.
For sure.
I don't know. I think a lot of it's just like,
do you get down on yourself on those days?
oh yeah, 100%.
I should have done
like,
something.
oh, I'm a piece of shit. Like I didn't do anything today. Yeah. Like I could be doing so much more and all that stuff. I think in all honesty, as I look back,
but when you have go
ahead.
When you do feel like you have a productive day, you're able to feel content when it's like, this is not going to be putting you on blast.
Okay.
But like if you went and golfed and did like a little bit of work, you'd be fine with that.
100%.
See, and I feel really guilty when I go golf. And if I only get a little bit done, I'm not satisfied with that. So like, that's where I'm trying to figure out the difference is like, you're able to find contentment in just like the little progression.
The things that have to get, as long as I get the things that have to be done that day, like a must, non-negotiables, whether it's like, if I'm on a time crunch for, a transaction that's under contract, I need to get docs sent to somebody, follow up on occasion with someone I haven't talked to in a while, like whatever the case might be, like those, as long as those get done,
it's a win.
The rest of the day doesn't matter. I could golf for 6 hours and not care at all. But yeah, there's a give and take with all of it.
Part of that, I think, is we're also in different situations where like we're trying to run the team and I don't want to say you're an employee, but like you've chose to work under a company essentially.
Right.
And people like bag on that, but I'm like, dude, you're living the life that you prefer.
Well,
because if you weren't,
let's go down this rabbit hole. This is interesting. This is good because it comes with self-analyzation, right?
Yeah.
So rewind 2 years ago. I remember even being like first on the team.
Yeah.
I wanted status.
Yeah, he did.
I wanted to be the dog. Right. So I'm talking with Anthony and I'm just like, okay, what can I do? I'd love to be a part of the leadership team. I want to be the director, of sales, help you out, relieve time for you. It's motivation for me to do better, to be an example, all this stuff.
But gives you a title.
Gives me a title. Like
office.
There was lots of reasons why. At the end of the day, like I think it was genuine. I wanted to help. I wanted to be the best value asset to you.
Yeah.
What I quickly realized is I hated it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything with you or with the team or anything like that. It was more of just like, I enjoy my freedom.
Yep.
I enjoy not having to live to a metric that I didn't set for myself.
Yep.
Someone else's metric of success. Cause then I'm always feeling like a failure.
Yeah.
And I think I struggle with this in real estate, like, cause the metrics are set by your clients.
Yeah.
And so you have to live up to those metrics as well. And it's something I constantly battle with because it's like, I'm trying to do everything I can. The result's not quite there yet. So I'm down on myself versus other things. But anyways, the point I'm getting to is I chose to step down.
Yeah. And I'll actually give you a lot of praise on that. He was in this role for not a super long time, sales manager. And like, he kind of came to me, like, obviously, like, I'm like, dude, Jace isn't doing what we need to do. But I hadn't had the conversation with him yet. And he actually came to me and was like, I don't think like I actually want to do this.
Right.
And that speaks a lot to, I mean, yes, you could have had a title and there was some money involved and like it could have progressed. You could have managed a team. It's I mean, essentially like kind of what Devin's doing. But Devin thrives in a management role. He likes to put out the fires and deal with people, and maybe not likes to, but he's good at it. And where it's like, it was like you were pulling your own teeth to try to sit down and like look at Zillow metrics and listen to calls and recordings.
It was so bad.
You were like, I don't want to do this. And so props to you for realizing that and being able to say like, hey, this isn't what I enjoy doing. And so why pursue this?
And I'm not willing to fake it till I make it just to try to keep a title.
Yeah.
Cause then there's resentment. Like you resent me for not doing or living up to what expectations you had set with me. I resent the position. I hate this. I don't like it. It just wasn't going to work. Still love the team. Still a part of the team. It was just the role in specific.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because, there's a rolling joke within the team and probably the hint that they're getting on this podcast that Jace just doesn't do anything, that he's just lazy and just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
It's not.
I'd like to play it that it does. It's a game for me.
Now it is.
The lazier I can look to the outside world while still doing pretty well in sales is comical to me. I enjoy it.
He finds it is a weird flex.
It's a weird flex,
like,
but it's so funny.
He went from wanting to be the dog and like do all this high level stuff to like, I actually want to be a sandbagger and just have people think I don't work, but still throw up good numbers. So they're like, how do you do it?
It's so like, one example is like Jose on our team.
Yeah.
he had a question about one of my listings or something. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I wasn't at the office. I was actually out on an appointment.
Yeah.
But I answered. And the first thing I said, I'm like, dude, you're interrupting my nap. What are you doing? And he lost his mind. It was so funny. So anyways, to the outside group, I do have goals. I do have aspirations.
Yeah.
I do actually want to progress.
Yes.
But yes, we will joke quite a bit as you get to know me as a person. Like we'll joke quite a bit about being lazy.
Yeah. And I don't think you're lazy. I don't think you're lazy whatsoever. You have a unique way of doing business. Mm-hmm. And I think it derives from being content. Like it is, you have this confidence that business is going to kind of come and you're going to work on it when it comes. And when it does come, like you do work on it and you excel at it, but then you don't put this massive pressure on yourself to like constantly be generating more during the downtimes. You almost like enjoy the downtimes because you know when it's not downtime, you've got to go.
Right.
And I can appreciate that because that's where burnout comes from, is like working. And then when there is downtime, continuing trying to jump up and work. And then it gets busy and you're still in the work. Like you never have that downtime. And I've realized that like with my own schedule, it's like, that's why I kind of midday or midweek, Wednesday, I try to have a little bit of a calmer day, not have appointments. Cause like my Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays are like literally like appointment, meeting. And sometimes it drives me nuts. So like, I'm like, I need a break and just think. And so I appreciate that. And my point with this is like, everybody puts entrepreneurship on this pedestal. Like you can make really good money being within a company. Like you don't have to stress about like, hey, if our leads aren't coming in or Zillow changes their platform or we need, revenues down on the team and office, like whatever, like we have to stress about that. You don't have to stress about that.
Right. You
just say, hey, I get to do what I want to do. I get to talk to clients. I can golf during the week and I pay a little bit to be a part of the team. And yeah, it's less stress. Otherwise, it's like as a solo agent, and like I say this because I talk to so many solo agents that just fight this. They're not true entrepreneurs and they're not business owners because they don't want to spend money on their business. They don't want to build systems and processes and all this stuff to make their business run efficiently. But then they don't want to be a part of a team. And it's like, well, you got to make a choice or else you're going to kind of just stagnate or run around you see some solo agents that are high producers. They just run around with their head cut off. And it's like, the ones that I've seen that they only last a few years before they get burnt out and then leave the industry. And so I think there's benefits to both and realizing like, hey, if you are an entrepreneur and you like risk and you like stress and you like having to deal with all the fires and everything that comes with being a business owner and having to put a smile on your face every day, regardless of what's going on in the background, then go for it. But if you don't like that stuff, be okay. Like realizing, hey, that's not my strong suit. It's not the life that I want to live. And I can go do other things and be a part of other companies and still make the money that I want and have a money system like we talk about on this podcast that's still going to get you to your goals of retirement and where you want to be. I think about one of the members of the group that's going to be in here. This is like conversation that I've had with him a few times is like, he works a ton and he just can't get out of the business. And it is like, the only way to get him out is he's got to hire people, but the risk of hiring people scary and the time that you have to put into that and all that stuff. But the only way to progress is like you're going to stagnate there and you're honestly going to burn yourself out because you're only going to sustain this workflow for a few years.
You have to look at it like a stock chart. You're on the up, business is great. But it's going to cap. You got to take that dip,
take some revenue off
in order to get the bounce.
100%. That's a great way to look at it. Yeah. I'm going to tell him that.
Do it.
Let's do it. Talk to him. We'll actually talk about, this is the stuff that we're going to talk about in the group that we're starting. We want to hear everybody's story, where they're at, what they're struggling with, and like give group advice, figure out how, what are other people doing? How are other people getting ahead or how they deal with these things. So
one last thing I'm going to say with this, as far as the approach I take, because I know we kind of went on that tangent. You almost have to be a little selfish to be selfless. It is how I look at it.
Okay.
So when I was in the heat of the moment of corporate America, I hated everything about my job. My life outside of work struggled because of it.
Yeah.
My health struggled. My marriage struggled in certain aspects. My family life struggled, like extended family.
Yeah.
Just all of it struggled because I was in complete misery, depression.
Yeah.
On the flip side, being an entrepreneur where you have complete control of everything, you have kind of the opposite feeling of one of the reasons I was depressed is I was just someone else dictated my future.
Yeah.
Which again, we're not bagging on corporate jobs, but I was not built for that.
Yeah.
Like I knew I needed something else. Having full control of my time allowed me to prioritize selfishly myself.
Yeah.
So golf is one thing. It's almost as terrible as it sounds. It's become a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
Because I know that it puts me in a better state of mind that in turn helps me be a better husband, better father, better person to help my clients in real estate.
Yeah.
Because if I was just in misery, those things would carry over and all of them would suffer. I think my business would suffer
100%.
because I'm not being a little selfish. So be a little selfish so that you can be selfless with everything else in your life.
I love that. And I think you hit it right on the head. If you're not where you're at, if you're not where you want to be at in business, take a look at your personal life first. Because a lot of the time there's things that you need to work out in your personal life that are stopping you from that next stage of business progression.
Yep.
And I can't say that. I mean, I can't say that enough. I was working a ton, even when we had Soph, like right before the twins. This is like this last year and a half has kind of been my turning point where I decided to take my health seriously. Like, and it was like right after having the twins that I was like, you know what, I'm kind of tired of. I would always make excuses. I'm too busy. I wouldn't go to the gym. I had gotten up to like 235 pounds and didn't look good, didn't feel good. And I finally was like, you know, enough is enough. I need to track what I'm eating. I need to be consistent with the gym. And that's where I started like, hey, sometimes I used to not go to the gym during the day because I felt like if I wanted to go to the gym, I had to go in the morning before the kids woke up. And when from 9 to 5, like I'm working, that's when I need to work. And it was actually something my life coach said is like, well, isn't going to the gym and bettering yourself work? Like, why do you not think that's work? I'm like, yeah, that's a fair point. That is work. And it's me working on myself. And that is important because that translates to everything else. And I can't tell you how big of a difference it's made with everything in life, just getting into shape.
Personal relationships, business-wise, your patience with all of it. I mean, especially with you where you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
You, in theory, have a lot of stress on, and not even in theory, that's not the right term. You have a lot of stress on your plate.
Yeah.
You would not be able to handle all that if you didn't focus on yourself a little bit.
100%.
And you illustrate the point. Gym, golf.
That's kind of what I was saying. Like your golf is my gym. Essentially, It's like I've valued that where if I have an hour in the day, I'm going to go squeeze it and I'm going to go to the gym. And I've never felt bad about going to the gym
or running. Running's time killer, bro. I saw your post. That's like 2 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours this
3
weekend.
hours of running. You're a psycho.
It was psycho. And that's been hard. Like, not going to lie. Obviously we're training. I'm about 3 weeks out for a marathon, my first marathon. So the training schedule when you're on a marathon prep is intensive.
Right.
And it's been hard. Like I can tell it, not that it bugs Bree, but like, hey, when I got to say like, hey, I got a long run on the Saturday or a Sunday, that's going to take 2 to 3 hours. And I don't want to go in the early morning because it's too cold. So I'm going to go like in the afternoon. It's like, hey, that's 2 to 3 hours that I'm gone that you're scheduling around, right. You know? And again, it's been me though. Like she knows this is important to me and she's been super flexible with that. Like, hey, I know you need to go get your run in, like go do it. But it is really hard. Like, I don't know if we'll see how this marathon goes. I'm definitely going to take a break. Not going to train for another one right away because it is really time consuming.
It's a lot. Yeah.
And so, and I don't want to just run it to like run it. Like I want to run it well. So I've been training more aggressively
and you've seen probably a lot of positive things come from that.
Oh, 100%.
In the process of it all.
It is like, I have actually really enjoyed running. It gives me the time to think. Like the 2 to 3 hours, like people are like, dude, that sounds miserable. I'm like, it's actually really kind of peaceful. I did one the other day that was like 16 miles with my buddy, Brendan. And dude, I didn't know music, no podcast. We literally just talked the whole time, like 2.5 hours about life, about being fathers, about, you know, he's listened to the podcast. He put a net worth tracker together. He's getting all that stuff dialed in. So we talked about finance. We talked about what I think he should do. And then life too. Like he's in a different part of life. He's got kids that are older. They're like, you know, 7-8 years away from kids being out of the house, where I am 2 years into kids being born.
Right,
So like
right.
totally different, where he is like, hey, if I actually do this right, that's like what got him jacked with the podcast when he did his net worth. He's like, okay, here's where we're at. If I can do this right in the next 8 years, like we could probably retire early. And
That's so exciting.
oh, and if we retire early, we also don't have kids. Like they could be early 40s empty nesters and have retired, like financial freedom. And so like now he's kind of jacked with that. He's got a Raptor too, and he bought his daughter a car. He's not even driving his truck anymore. He's like, because she's old enough to drive. And so they've been like, he just drives her car everywhere. When she's dropped off at school, she can't have it. So he drives it to work and does everything. He's like, I don't even miss my Raptor. Like he's just totally changed it financially too. He's like, I want to spend more on investing, and him and his wife are getting really serious about a plan to get to where they want to be. And now he's even talking about, he's like, dude, I don't even know, like in 5 to 8 years, like I don't even know if we'll live here. Like they might want to get to a spot. Maybe he sells his agency and they move somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to like having those life conversations are fun. And so that's one thing, like running it really gives me my time to think. I listen to podcasts a lot during those runs too, but it gives me my time to think where I'm not distracted. Like I'm just focused on running and I can like formulate my thoughts. And a lot of people run away from that quiet. Like I'm pausing because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to say this, but this is something we talked about in St. George with you. Like one thing I noticed is you like always engaged. Like you didn't really have quiet time.
No.
And if you are quiet, you're like napping.
I shut off.
like it was, I was kind of intrigued. I'm like, huh. Cause we haven't really been in the same house for a week or something. And I was like, yeah, Jace, like, and granted, like there's sports and other stuff going on, but yeah, like you didn't really like, you didn't disconnect. And I was kind of surprised by that. And so
It's because I don't know. I guess like I find my times to disconnect.
Yeah.
So like
on the golf course, you're not on your phone. So it's like,
yeah. And like even down to the sense like because of the game, will take like my watch off. I won't have AirPods in. I take my phone out of my pocket unless I'm tracking the score. Like,
yeah,
that's my disconnect.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like when I'm home and stuff, like if I completely turn everything off, I will fall asleep because I'm just in content mode and I'm like sick, like it's cool, time to shut down. Like, let's go.
Just gonna go to bed.
Take a nap.
That's actually the wildest thing. This is because we've gone to team events and stuff. And so people have roomed with you in like hotel rooms, and everybody that rooms with you says like Jace falls asleep the fastest anybody has ever fallen asleep. They said they'll talk to you, and then as soon as your head hits a pillow, within 5 seconds, you're snoring.
I'm out. Yep.
I'm like, dude, my mind is running at night. Like I go to bed, I'm like, oh, I forgot to send this text. Oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, I need to do that. And Jace just goes, like, this sounds, I'm kind of envious of this, but anyway, enough.
Explain it.
I can't explain it.
Enough of Jace.
Enough of Jason talking about him. Okay, so back to the premise of this. We kind of talked about, we kind of got off on this tangent, being April Fools, but
Right.
If you've been listening to the podcast, you know the first steps of building wealth are you have to have money left over each month. You cannot build any wealth if you don't have any money left over after each month, once you've spent what you need to spend on your burn rate. Like if there's no money there, I'm sorry, like you don't have money to invest, you're never going to save or become wealthy.
And we've done 2 or 3 episodes where we've talked about options to do that.
Yes.
So if this is your first episode that you're listening to, go back and listen to a couple episodes prior to this, and you'll know what we're talking about when we say step 1.
Yeah. Step 1. I mean, and there's easy ways to automate. Just have a money system that you're going to start following, like we've talked about in previous episodes.
Right.
Once you have that money system, some people have asked us questions where it's like, well, at what point do I start investing? And that would be, okay, let's say you are saving money each month. You're following a money system. You're putting 10, 20% of your net income away first thing when it comes in each month. And you're starting to accumulate some funds in an account that you're not spending. First off, like only start doing that, putting money aside and stuff once you like don't have any kind of consumer debt. And when I say consumer debt, I don't necessarily mean car payments and that stuff. I mean credit card debt, high interest debt. If you have high interest debt, that should be the first thing that you're throwing all of your money towards. Like get rid of that interest, okay? The interest payment. Now, once you have all your high interest debt gone, and high interest, I would say anything over 8 to 9%. If you're paying on something that's over 8 to 9%, you need to get rid of it. Now, once you've narrowed it down, like let's say you have car payments. I'm not saying car payments aren't bad. I don't think necessarily that you need to pay off your cars if you have a decent interest rate.
We've talked about this. Yeah.
If your interest rate's over 9%, you pay it off,
Right.
or refinance it. But if it's lower than that, mathematically, like putting your money into the market is usually the better suit because we know that the market's going to return 8 to 10% over a period of time. So
So in simple terms, let's say you have $20,000 left on your car payment. Instead of dumping $20,000 into the car, put $20,000 into the market. It will make the same amount, if not more,
correct,
by being in the market to offset what you're paying for your car.
Mathematically.
Yes.
That, I mean, if you look over the last 100 years, that is mathematically true.
And we, again, on this podcast, we've looked at it two different ways. Like I've proposed the idea that, hey, that putting that in gets me X amount of money back into my pocket. That could be my first investment.
Correct.
That's an okay route.
Yep.
The route you're proposing is also okay.
Yeah.
Both are okay.
It really is, it's personal finance. So it's personal to you. What is your risk tolerance?
Right.
For me, I'm okay carrying more debt if it's reasonable debt and getting a better return in the market or with my investments. I actually looked at, we updated our net worth tracker today too. And I wanted to pull the percentages of what I'm invested in, but majority, I would say, 15% is in like hard money loans. Mm-hmm. So like me carrying promissory notes usually, and it's to my own company, like for flips and stuff, but I earn 12% and 2 points on that money. So right there, I'm like, on an annualized return, I'm earning like 16+% because I originate those usually every 6 months. So usually like my money, unless I'm paying something that's over 16%, my money's better spent into those hard money loans.
Right.
And then I was actually looking at like, dude, there's probably only 5%. No, that would be 20, like 10% is in the stock market. And the rest is in equity in companies or real estate. And I'm actually really, really heavy on the real estate. Like it's probably like, honestly, my portfolio I probably have about 70%, 60 to 70% are in real estate holdings. And so recognizing that, I wanted to kind of talk about why I think real estate is the best investment vehicle, if you understand it. Mm-hmm. And let's do some quick math with it because, we talk about the market and I think the market is great for the masses, for like in not trying to pick individual stocks, but just like an overall index fund, mutual fund, ETF that's like a conglomerate of stocks. It's a safe investment. If you understand real estate, here's the benefit to real estate. Because it's like people go back and forth, like should you buy real estate or should you buy stocks? I look at real estate like the benefit to real estate is if you can manage leverage correctly. Because if I let's just use $100,000. If I put $100,000 into the stock market, and I can get 8%. That 8% return is $8,000 a year. Okay, which is great. Now, if I put that $100,000 into a real estate asset, and I still get the same percentage return, like I look for a real estate asset that's going to return at least, I look for like 10%, but let's say that you're still okay getting 8% return, cash on cash return, on like a rental property. Mm-hmm. So you get that same $8,000 in cash flow. But the benefit is my $100,000 probably went into, let's say if you have to put 25% down and you got, you finance the other 75%, you were able to purchase a $400,000 asset with your $100,000. That still gives you the 8% cash on cash return, your 8% return through rental income. Mm-hmm. But then you have an asset that you own that's worth $400,000. Mm-hmm. Now people are like, well, you're going to, you have debt on that property and you're going to pay interest on your debt. Well, I'm not paying interest. My tenant is paying interest.
Correct.
I'm still making the 8% return on my cash. Mm-hmm. I don't care that there's interest that's getting paid. That's getting paid by the tenant. And let's say that, and people are like, well, the real estate market only appreciates by like 3 to 4% annually. Okay, let's say that is true. There's some years where it's more than that. Mm-hmm. But let's say it is true. Say it's you only get 4% return on your $400,000 asset that you put $100,000 into. It's like that alone is a $16,000 increase in the value of that real estate. So you just made $16,000 on top of your $8,000 cash flow, on top of your renters paying down, like part of your rent or part of your the payments that the renter's making are going towards interest and principal. Mm-hmm. So part of they're paying down your loan for you as well. and paying the interest. Like when you can understand that side of real estate, it is so beneficial. And then the other side is if you're in a high income and you can, let's say you become a real estate professional, or you can qualify as a real estate professional. Like if you don't have your license, you can qualify as a real estate professional with 750 hours of working hours in real estate, where like maybe you're looking at deals or you're managing Airbnbs or your rental properties. You can then take advantage of like cost segregation on your real estate. So this doesn't even account, like you look at this return plus if I just put money into the stock market, well, I'm just paying, like I made income that I put into the stock market. I'm paying taxes on my income versus if I buy real estate and I'm a real estate professional, I can cost segregate it. I can almost eliminate, a big chunk of my income, my taxable income for that year. And it doesn't hurt me on my loan, like ability to get loans, because it's depreciation. It's not, a lot of people look at like, I'm going to go buy a truck to save on taxes. It's like, well, you still, yes, you're depreciating the truck, but you still like went out and bought an asset that's not going to return you any capital. It's not giving you cash flow.
Right.
And you are actually going to eat a lot of the depreciation yourself as soon as you drive it off the lot. So people that go like, I'm just going to go get a write-off. It's like, well, if you're just looking for write-offs, you're spending money. You're just burning money. And trust me, like that's the way I thought when I first got into real estate. It was like, oh, I've got a big tax bill. It's December. I better go buy a truck or I better buy a new vehicle. Like that's what people do. And that's what they tell you. And my CPA literally told me that. He's like, well, do you need it? Because if you don't need it, you're saving a portion of your taxable, what you'd be taxed on, but like, you're really just burning the rest of the money. Like if you just want to get rid of the money, like give it to me, I'll take it. like, yeah, that's true. Good point. And so that shifts my perspective. It's like when you put your money into an asset that you can also depreciate, that is also cash flowing, that is also going to go up in value. That's where you should be putting your money first and foremost. And then when you have cash flow, like you have income from cash flow, maybe you're like, I look at my buddy Chandler, who he still invests a lot into real estate to offset his income, but he's got enough there that, yeah, he's going to peel off 200 grand and just go buy a car. Like let your assets and your cash flow pay for your lifestyle increase. He's increased his lifestyle dramatically, but it's because he has so much cash flow coming in.
Right.
And that's what he uses to go buy the fun toys.
It's almost like he was forced to.
Yeah, it's because it's like
you either go buy a car or give that entire amount of money to Uncle Sam.
Yeah, and his every year over year his net worth is increasing. His real estate portfolio is increasing in value. Like he's got a ton of equity there, and so I truly believe, like with all my heart, real estate is the best investment if you understand all of the benefits with it. Now, there is one flip side to this, and I'm going to talk about like owning a personal home. And I'm torn between this because some people are going to say buying a personal home is not a good investment.
I've heard that a lot more lately, even too.
Oh, yeah. Every financial guru, who rents is adamant that you should rent, and what the difference between what you're renting the house for and what you would have to pay if you had a mortgage, you invest that difference into the stock market and you're better off. Okay, maybe.
It's an okay strategy. We'll put an asterisk next to that. Would I do it myself? No.
Yeah. One, you have to be responsible enough to know that, hey, there is a gap here between what a mortgage payment would be and my rental income or my rent payment, and I'm going to invest the difference. And I'm going to invest the difference over a long period of time to make that make sense. The reason I think for like a first-time home buyer, when you can get into a property with 3 to 5% down, again, you are putting, let's say on a $350,000 house, you're putting 3.5% down. That's $12,000. You spent $12,000 to own an asset that's worth $350,000. If that asset goes up by 3 to 4% annually, now people are going to hit you with, well, you're paying interest. And I agree. And the amortization schedule is actually like, this is where I think that I would agree with the gurus that say it's not a good investment, because if you're only going to own that home for a short period of time, you're going to pay a lot of interest on that. You're making your monthly payment. A lot of your monthly payment is going towards interest. Very little of it's going to go to principal the first few years. And if you're not planning to hold this asset long term, it probably isn't a good purchase as a primary residence. So
you got to beat the average, because there's a reason the banks do that. They know that the likelihood of you selling that property in 5 years is really, 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 really high. So
Really
that's why
high.
they try to get a return on their investment from the start for the first 5 years.
Have you ever looked at it?
I don't want to.
Yeah, well, we're gonna look at it because this is actually fascinating. And so when I bought our first home, with the impression that I was going to hold this asset long term. So I understand the amortization schedule. I understand that I'm going to pay a lot of money in interest if this goes out 30 years. It's almost double. Like if you buy a $250,000 house and you have like a 6% rate, you're going to pay an interest $260,000 over the lifetime of that loan. So yeah, that is a lot of money. But if you hold it for the long term, and at some point, like we only lived in that house we lived there longer than I actually anticipated. We lived there for 5 years. The average, most people transact real estate every 5 to 7 years. That is a number statistically. That's why the banks structure amortization schedules the way they do, because they know that you're going to transact in the first 5 to 7 years. But I knew, okay, we were there for 5 years. Then it converted to a rental. So now it's a rental property. And if I hold that rental property out for 30 years, I think over 30 years, it's probably going to triple in value. That I get all that gain. My renters have paid all the interest from year 5 to year 30. I've also got principal. They're paying down the principal for me. So 30 years from now, I'm going to own it free and clear, no debt. And it's probably tripled in value. And I got all the cash flow from it. Right now, it cash flows me like $1,000 a month. So I get $12,000 a year for 30 years, plus a triple in value, plus I didn't pay any of the interest. Like if you hold real estate long term, it makes sense. Where people get burned is when they don't hold it long term.
Right.
It's when you're planning, when you do sell it in the first 5 years, you should look at how much you paid in interest. Because I actually asked my good friend Claude to break this down for me. If you don't know Claude, you should know Claude.
Well, and real quick, while you're looking that up, that's why, we run into this a lot as real estate agents. We'll have clients that purchased a house 2 to 3 years ago. And then, the market, even if the market has shifted a little bit, even in the favor of home prices going up, they're still shocked with how little they get back after that time, because they're like, oh my gosh, I've been paying, monthly for the 12 months for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Why am I not making any money on this sale, and or why am I even losing money?
Yep.
And it's because you just paid interest. Like you made very little progress on your actual principal.
Yeah.
And so, if you turn around and try to sell it, you're not going to make a ton.
That's where buying, like I bought a few subject to deals, which is basically like we take over the debt of the owner. And usually we're overpaying a little bit for the property, but they have cheap debt. And I love it when they have cheap debt and they're 7 years into making payments. Because now all the payments that go in when a renter, like I rent it out, now large, maybe half the payment is going towards principal now. So I'm getting a lot more principal pay down year 7, year 8, year 9 than, at the beginning. We're going to run an example here to show you. It's crazy. Okay. So if you had, sorry, I did math here. Okay. So let's use a clean $200,000 mortgage at 6% over 30 years. The monthly payment on that is $1,199 every single month without fail. That's just principal and interest. Okay. We're not bringing in taxes and insurance and all that stuff. Just principal and interest. Okay. So what the 6% actually means, because you're like, oh, it's a 6% interest. Well, year 1 of your $1,199 payment, 1,000 of it goes towards interest.
So $100
$199
every month.
$199 goes towards principal. So I was like, okay, so interest paid year 1, you paid almost $12,000 in interest. Year 1. That means roughly 83 cents of every dollar in year 1 goes to the bank as interest. It's insane.
It's a lot.
Year 2, similar. You're going to pay about $11,786 in interest. Roughly 81 cents per dollar goes to the bank. Now it's like once you get to year 20, the balance is down to like roughly $109,000. Interest paid year 20, you're going to pay about $6,200. and then principal paid is going to be about $8,000. So you're going to pay more towards your principal around there. And then as you get closer to the year 30, like 25, 27, it's like 80% is going towards principal and 20% is going towards interest. But they know, like, it is stacked in the bank's favor if you own this as a primary residence. They are making an absurd return if you hold a property for 5 years. Like, let's say they loaned you $200,000, and I mean, year one they made 12%, or they made $12,000. What is that? Is that 6%? Basically, of interest.
Roughly.
Yeah, they're getting all that. But let's say you hold it. Let's say it's like 12,000, and then it was like 11,700. So let's just use like 11,500. Shoot. Plus 11,000 plus, say 10,500 plus 10,000. It's like if you held it for 5 years, it's like you've paid almost $55,000 in interest
To the bank.
to the bank.
Yep.
That's
And you can't blame them for that. Like,
no, I mean the reward is because they're holding the debt. They're willing to wait 30 years. They're willing to have their money out for 30 years, knowing that majority of people won't have it out for 30 years.
Right.
But they're willing to take the risk that you could if you wanted to. And that's where, again, it's like learn the game. The bank doesn't make you have more benefit if you rent it out and you hold it for the term of the loan. Because at the end of the loan, you are kind of winning. And the bank's money's been out for a long time. I mean, $55,000 on a $200,000 loan, that's 25%. You've paid 25% of your principal balance in interest in the first 5 years. So that's 25%. Obviously, like, yeah. Anyway.
So there is some, to your point, what you're trying to make is like, you can see and understand why some might say, okay, it's not the best financial move. The gurus are saying like, you could do a little bit better instead of paying $55,000 in interest over the course of 5 years. You're instead renting, taking what you would have paid in that interest and going and dumping it into the market. There's no question.
And I think if you are looking to buy your first house, like the easiest way to get into real estate is like try to house hack. Get a duplex, triplex, fourplex if you're a first-time home buyer. Rent out the other units to offset your mortgage. And then again, you're not paying all that interest. Your tenants are paying the interest.
Right.
You can almost like sometimes live for free. So it's like, hey, now you're not paying rent or a mortgage. You're living for free. Might not be the best living conditions that you want to be in as a first-time home buyer. You have to deal with renters. But again, it's like that's how you get ahead. You sacrifice a little bit up at the beginning, you get ahead. I wish I would have done that when I started out. Knowing what I know now, like I wish I could rewind the clock.
We all do.
And do it differently. And I try to tell people, like, if you do that and you make those sacrifices for the first few years, you will be so much further ahead than everybody else your age. But a lot of people just don't want to do it. And it's really hard if you don't do it at the beginning, going back is almost impossible. Once you and your wife are in a house, convincing her to go into a fourplex,
Good luck.
good luck.
Yep.
Tell me how you do it if you do it. Like, and then once you have
Especially
kids,
if you have kids.
if you have kids, toast.
Yeah.
Adios.
Done.
But so it's like, do it while you're young and you have less obligations. Make those sacrifices so that you can build long-term wealth. I have my partner in flipping companies. That's exactly what he did at the beginning. He bought a duplex, lived in one of the units, rented out the other side. He renovated it. So it was a flip. Then he moved out, bought another one, again, renovated it, lived in one side, rented out the other. And then he moved to another flip property that he bought and renovated that. And he's renting out the other 4 units that he previously had. And I look at, like, he's got a pretty good net worth just because he's got some money and equity in both of those rentals and he's getting cash flow monthly from those. And that was over a 3-year period. He sacrificed like 3 years. And luckily, like, his wife was on board to do it. But this comes back to what we've talked about before is like, have a plan and sit down with your spouse and figure out that plan together. Because when you have a plan together, then it's like, here's what we should do if we want to get to our goals. How serious are we about this?
Right.
Because this is a sacrifice we're going to have to make. And I even applaud him. Like, he just moved out of that house. We're going to sell it. He's got some equity there. He moved his family into it. He's renting right now into a townhome. Like, he makes good money and he's got cash flowing assets. He's got stuff. And he's still willing to, his whole financial thing is like, we both agree that we're going to live below our means so that we can invest and that we can build wealth. Our long-term goal is to own a real estate portfolio that pays for our lifestyle that we want to live. It's like, cool. Like if you gotta have a system and a rule that you follow consistently over time, and you'll be way further ahead than most people. So that was my spiel about, if you've never looked at an amortization schedule, you should understand it, because if you want to get into real estate, you should understand how the money flows and how it works, and understand all the benefits with real estate. Understand what a cash on cash return is. Here's your homework. If you've thought about investing in real estate and you haven't pulled the trigger on stuff, here's some key things you should look at. What is a cash on cash return? What are typical like CapEx or like expense loads that I should look for on a property? How much is a management fee when I'm looking at a rental? And then like, what kind of cash on cash do I want? And what are some financing terms that I could look at? Like do some research with this stuff, because the more you can educate yourself, the better you're going to feel about pulling the trigger on a deal. And I can't tell you enough, like once you pull the trigger on your first real estate deal and you see it and it pays off, you're like, oh man, this is awesome.
Right.
And every deal in real estate looks better 5 years from now. So an okay deal now, like we bought some okay deals that now look like great deals, because it's been 5 years. Like our first flip, it's been literally 5 years. We bought it in 2021. It was like an okay deal at the time. Now it's an awesome deal. Like principal pay down has gone down a little bit. Our equity's gone up quite a bit. Our cash flow on it's better because rents have increased. So play the long game in whatever you're choosing to invest in, and get the knowledge that you need to make those decisions. One thing I want to kind of pivot here now that we've talked about that.
Okay.
In future episodes, one thing I've mentioned here that we need to plan a full episode for this, and I really want to go in depth. So I got to work with Kyle, because I'm going to want to throw up graphs for this. Maybe we'll do it next week. Maybe we'll do it in a few weeks. But the power of inflation. Because if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, yeah, I get like we should save money and I need to build for retirement. Once you understand inflation, you will have more urgency to get this stuff going.
Right.
Because inflation it will crush you if you don't know, if you're not playing the game and investing. If you're not investing, you can't become wealthy. Like there's very few people. You have to have a really, really, really high income to save your way to wealth. Because if you're just putting money into a savings account, inflation is going to destroy your money. And I want to show you graphs and break that all down for you in a full episode. So
yeah, that'll be sweet to look at.
Stick tuned for that.
I think this will tie into, because we got to go over my net worth tracker.
Yes.
So, we started out this part of the episode by talking about like, okay, we went over the first steps for some people. Then we talked about investing into real estate and getting to that point.
Yeah.
I think we talked about a little bit of this towards the end of last episode, because we had a question from someone who had saved some money. Where should she put that money? Ties into where I'm at currently and what I've been talking to you about, which we'll share here in just a little bit. What's the in between? So you now are in the habit of putting money aside.
Yep.
The goal is to invest in real estate.
Yep.
What are you doing until that point? And what are you doing in between? And we talked, about putting it in high yield savings, putting it into Roth IRA, into the stock market, whatever you're comfortable with, but just make sure that you're consistent with it and that you're okay not touching it for a little while.
Correct.
At what point do you pull that out? Is it 10K? Is it 20K? Is it 50K?
Yeah.
Is that depending on where you live? Is it yes to all the above? What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think when you know where you want to put it and you feel good about it, like you've made the decision. I don't think the amount matters as much as the decision and belief in what you're going to invest in.
I like that.
So it could be 2,500, it could be $5,000. If you're like, hey, I've done the research, I understand what a hard money loan is and the interest and the risks and the benefits of that, and I'm willing to put my $5,000 and get a 2% origination, 12% interest on that, like that's going to start accumulating. And it's going to accumulate, maybe faster than the stock market. If you're like, I've done some research on some stocks and I feel really good about these stocks or this ETF or this mutual fund or this index fund, I'm going to put money there and I'm going to do it. Hopefully you're doing it monthly, whether it's up or down, you're committed to investing into that long term. Don't put money into the stock market if you need it in the next 5 years, because stock markets fluctuate. You cannot be emotional about it. I am emotional. about it.
Sure,
I hate losing money. I said that last time. That's why I like real estate, right? Hard money notes. They earn me 12% interest and 2 points. That's usually 14% every 6 or not every 6 months, but 14% annualized return. If I can do it twice in a year, that's 16% that I can get. And I'm secured. I understand it. So I know how to mitigate a lot of the risk. A real estate asset is not going to go down in value by 20% in a day or a year most of the time.
Stock market could.
Stock market could. And if the real estate asset did go down 20%, I'm usually getting an 80% LTV. So like there's 20% in equity that the borrower is putting down on the property. So I'm secured. Even if it did drop 20%, I still get my money out.
Right.
So like, yeah, there's some benefits there. Or I would say, like we mentioned, it's so situational because it's like, how fast are you saving money? How long did it take you to get that chunk? If it took you a long time, what is your income like? I would first focus on what are areas to increase your income to increase your savings rate. Then once you have a decent savings rate, you're putting, maybe you are maxing out your Roth IRA, which is, $5,000 to $7,000 a year, whatever it is now. Personally, like I don't love retirement accounts. I want to retire before I'm 65.
Right.
And so, but again, use that, like that is a decision I have made, that I don't try to maximize those things. And it could be the wrong decision. Who knows? Like I go back and forth on a lot of things. Like I was into Bitcoin for a little bit and I didn't know enough about Bitcoin to have any kind of strong conviction. It was all just like hype and headlines. And I was like, dude, yeah, Bitcoin is probably going to be, it's going to go on a run and all this stuff. And then I'm like, I don't have any Bitcoin anymore. Like I've sold it all. And I probably sold it at a loss and it was emotional. And now I'm like, I've done enough of that where I've invested in things that I don't understand enough and I become emotional about it because I hate losing money because I know how hard I had to work to get that money.
Right.
And the sacrifices I made of not purchasing things I wanted to save it, I hate seeing that money go down. And so I realized like, hey, you're probably not the best person to invest in the stock market. If you're going to invest in the stock market, I have a financial advisor and we just give him the money and he invests it in the stock market. And I just forget about it.
Right.
That's the only way I'm going to invest in the stock market because if I put money in my Robinhood account and I think the last 3 years I've had a loss every year in my Robinhood account from trading. Not substantial losses, but it's like, $2, $3 grand, $4 grand. And it's like, dude, I mean, why am I doing that? I haven't lost money in real estate and that's what I know. I should just be going all in on what I know. That is where my competitive advantage is.
Right.
And so figure out what that is for you or get around people that understand that stuff and have conversations with them and try to learn about these different asset classes. And then go in on one that you're really convicted about because that's where you're going to be able to stick things out long-term is when you have a high conviction about what you're investing in. When it is just hype and you don't understand it, it's going to feel really bad if you lose money. And so I've been there, trust me. So don't do that. And like we said, we're always open to talking. You had this question for me the other day. I told you, cause you were like, should I go in the stock market? I was like, if you want to, depends on what your long-term investment goals are. Maybe you go into a high yield savings until you feel comfortable about where you want to put the money. And then I also will go through your net worth tracker. It's like the first thing you should do if you have the money is make sure you have the 3 to 6 months worth of savings. That should be in a high yield savings account. You have a lot of money in your checking account, which is doing you nothing. So it's like, put that into a high yield savings and then peel off, maybe it's $1,500, $2,500, $5 grand that you feel comfortable about investing and then decide where you want to put that. It could be in the stock market, but know that if push comes to shove, like you're not going to touch that money for at least 5 to 10 years. Ideally, you're not going to, like if it's going in the stock market, it's just going in there.
Right.
And you're playing the long game with the stock market. You're not a day trader. And that's where I get mixed up. I forget that I'm not that smart. I think I'm smart, but I'm not. I don't do this for a living. I don't day trade.
Right.
And people that do it for a living, some get kicked in the nuts a lot, day trading. So like, why do I think I can outperform these professionals that do it for a living when I have zero experience doing it? So that's my plea to you to not day trade.
We won't do that.
Stick it in for the long haul and make some high conviction bets on what you think is going to perform.
With that, I'm excited to share the net worth update.
Let's go through the net worth update.
And I didn't think I would be because we actually went down
That's okay.
in the net worth.
Some months are like that.
But I'm excited to share it because it is going to illustrate real life. The goal with this is not to portray that an unrealistic thing that people can't relate to.
Correct.
My hope is that people can relate to this. I'm putting it all on the line because we want you to be able to relate and be like, okay, like I go through that as well.
Yep.
Here's what I can do to help. So kind of interesting. So we'll scroll down real quick just to the bottom. So last month I had $132,000 of net worth. Now we're at 129.
Yep.
So we went down. Life hit us this past month. We had some bills come in from when our daughter was born.
Oh, yep.
I had an emergency bill that came because I had to go to the ER.
I remember this.
Quick thing, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Nothing bad. I tore my esophagus because I got food poisoning and threw up. And in the process, that tore my esophagus. And so I had to get some repairs done. It was crazy. Anyways, but that came with the bill.
Yeah. Unexpected.
Super unexpected.
Yeah.
But kid had to get some teeth pulled.
Yep.
Super unexpected. I had a dentist bill, and when you don't have corporate America, you have to privately get dental insurance.
Yep.
And if you don't have, they call it, I don't know the terminology. You have to hold on to your dental insurance for at least 6 months before they cover any major expense. And I went in for a cleaning, and they're like, you need to take care of this one. Like I had a cavity that had been forming, that a previous dentist told me wasn't a cavity and that I should just deal with it. It's like a chipped tooth is what he used as an example. It's just chipped tooth. You're fine.
Does it hurt?
It did.
Okay.
Which is why I initially wanted it looked at. He told me it's fine and that it would go away in a sense. Next dentist said that's 100% a cavity and it's almost down to your root. So I wasn't willing to wait until my dental insurance matured. So I had to out of pocket pay for that. So that was an accumulated expense. We had a
week in St. George.
We had a week in St. George. That was, a good amount of money, but fun. And so with the unexpected things that happened with some fun thrown in there, to only be down, was it $3,000? Yeah. Pretty happy with that. Cause obviously we got some sales done, that helped. But the thing I'm most proud of is this right here. So the $1,668, it was this is the conversation I had with Anthony. First time I have set aside actual money to invest in my entirety of making income.
Yep.
Ever.
Yeah.
Since I started working.
I love it.
So I'm really excited about this because I was like, I called Anthony. I'm like, okay, I've got this amount of money.
Yep.
I want to put it somewhere that I can't touch it. Because if I see it, it's going to go to the yard. It's going to go to the AC unit that I need to put in. It's going to go to new golf clubs, whatever, right? I will spend it and I don't want to. I want to break that habit.
Yep.
And so we talked about it and I decided to put it into the stock market. Stock market with a stock I'm comfortable with. It's in our, brokerage stock. And so I put it in Robinhood. I made a little note just because as of today, it is up 4%.
Let's go.
That's cool.
It is it's a very volatile stock.
And it'll probably be down 20% tomorrow.
This is something because I want to make this point. This is something I told Jace because he said, what about real stock? Because it's down. Real stock is down substantially from its peak. So he's like, well, wouldn't that be a good investment? Because I don't think it's really going to go down anymore. I said, yes, if you feel good about it and you won't be emotional, because it can swing 10 to 20% in a day. Mm-hmm. And so as long as you're not emotional about it and you're going to hold it in for the long term, then yes, put it there. But
so
just know that it's
notifications turned off in Robinhood.
Good.
I will not open this.
Good.
The only time I probably plan on opening it to see this is when we update the net worth tracker.
Yeah.
Or when I'm ready to put in my next.
So I looked at mine today. I have some real stock, a pretty substantial amount. Uh-huh. And I'm down 40-something% on the year.
Oof.
And there's quite a bit of money in there.
Right.
So it is really painful.
Really painful.
To look at that. It's so anyway, but again, I thought it was a little bit overvalued earlier in the year when it did kind of peak. So I did sell some, which I feel good about. But that's the thing with that. It's do not sell when it's low like this. You just got to be willing to ride it out. And if it drops to, right now it's at $250 a share, which it's a low stock price. It could go to $150. Mm-hmm. And you just can't be emotional about it because at the peak it was at $6.50, almost $7. So it could get up there. I do think it'll recover, but
right.
That was my thing with Jace. Was You can put it in there as long as you're going to be okay with the fluctuation. Otherwise, put it into something that's not going to fluctuate as much.
Right.
But you're high risk, high reward. And it was a low enough amount that you're like, I don't really care if I lose this.
Right.
Like, we'll just play with it. So that's, want to preface that.
A couple other notable things that I wanted to make sure people understood, because I'm still heavily still trying to get used to the new burn rate.
Yeah.
Because my burn rate essentially doubled because of the mortgage that we took on.
Yep.
And so even as you can see from this, I don't have an account that has my 3-month or 6-month savings, like for emergencies. I have checking accounts and savings accounts for taxes, random savings accounts, an account that we put money into that pays all the bills. Like it's all these random accounts. So I do think that we need to get a little more organized in the sense of like, okay, I know that this account has 3 months of savings, or 3 months of like emergency if I wasn't to make a commission for the next 3 months.
Yep.
So the reason I bring that up is we're working on that. So the money that we're investing is through a source of rev share, essentially.
Okay. Yeah.
So rev share is something that's provided by our brokerage.
Yep.
Every dime I make in rev share for the short term is going to go immediately into.
I like that.
Because then I know that is not coming out of the normal commission.
Yeah.
But I'm still investing.
Yep.
Then once we get organized and make sure, okay, I've got my 6 months of emergency fund in, everything's going where it should be, I'm comfortable with where I'm at, then that's when I'm going to start taking the 20% out and putting it into investments. So that's going to be goal number one that we're going to work on for over the course of the next couple months, which will be interesting because I've mentioned it a couple times. Like we've got some pretty big expenses coming up with the yard and everything else.
Are you okay sharing your monthly burn rate?
Yeah, it's roughly $8,500 a month.
Okay. So you've got, and excuse me, because I actually misspoke. I think I had looked at your cash. Well, is that cash on hand? No, that's personal property. I might have looked at your personal property on previous and thought that was cash on hand.
No.
So like in a bank account?
No.
And so that's
cash on hand.
I was like, man, you have a lot in your checking account.
No.
But you still have a substantial amount when we talk about what's in your real wallet.
Correct.
That is like 2.5 months.
Give or take.
Give or take.
But the reason there needs to be some organization here is that is, everything for my business too.
Correct.
That's not so like.
And if you have a slow month, you have your auto draft for $8,500 that's coming out of that account.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the kicker, the differentiator between somebody that's W-2 and somebody that's self-employed like we are. When you're W-2, you can really nail this down. Every 2 weeks your paycheck is X. Mm-hmm. So put the 20% away, all this. When you're in real estate, it's like you're going to have really big months and you might have months where you make zero. Mm-hmm. So you need your burn rate set aside in like a high yield savings. And I would say probably even like 3 months of your burn rate in like your business account. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like you just have to be a little bit more disciplined. When you're self-employed versus like W-2. And don't get me wrong, you shouldn't count on your W-2. I mean, like who knows what's going to happen. So like
I should not make a commission next month or
somebody could get laid off.
Somebody could get laid off. Like you have the risks both sides.
So make sure that I can't tell you how the first investment you should make is gaining the peace of mind knowing that you have 3 to 6 months saved. Because when unexpected things appear, you are not stressed.
Right.
If you got hit in a car accident and your car gets damaged, you're not as stressed.
Speaking of that, my wife put a dent in the car door. She was backing out of a parking garage and there's a dent in the car door. Like that's an unexpected thing that happens. She's going to get pissed at me for saying that because she's embarrassed by it, but
it's a female driver thing. Cause, dude, I got somebody backed into me in a drive-through. This lady at Pick Me Up was at the drive-through and she went to put her car in drive and put it in reverse and backed into my truck. And I was like, what the? She got out and she was so sorry. She's like, I'm so sorry. And like there wasn't really any damage to my truck. I'm like, yeah, you're fine. She gets back in her car, pulls forward and like then grabs something from like the person. I think she needed a straw again or something. And then she went to go put it in drive again and put it in reverse. And I saw her lights come on and I was literally about to panic. And then she like caught it and then went into drive. And I'm like, oh man, maybe
I got to give my wife a little crap about that. But like it happens, right? And so that's what we're trying to figure out is we're going to dial this in, get a little more organized, make sure that we've got the account that has the safety net for us there.
Yep.
And everything else. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight, again, this is real life. So we did get out of our debt like we shared, but we accumulated $1,800 of credit card debt.
Yep.
This is as of today. So like, this is not debt that we have held over a month, because that's what you talked about. Like, you won't hold it for a month.
No.
This will get paid off, but I thought it was still good to share.
Yeah. That you have a balance.
That you have a balance. Like, we have a credit card. The difference with this one in particular is, before, when I had all the credit card debt that I had, it was any card that I could get approved for, I was just had. So I had an Apple card. Pretty sure interest on that was 20%.
Yeah, at least.
At least. Had, other bank account credit cards that we had and accumulated. The difference in our approach with this one is we've gotten rid of all those other ones. This one is one that just accumulates travel points.
Yep.
And it's used for very specific stuff. So this $1,800, my wife homeschools. And so that was on homeschool supplies that you do have a deadline of purchasing. So she buys it, then gets refunded a fair amount from all the programs that are involved with school.
Nice.
And then we pay that off and everything else. So we'll acquire points from that, but that's why that's there. But we wanted to be realistic in what we shared.
Yeah.
And
you're not going to pay interest on that.
Just saying we're not going to pay interest on it, but yes, I still use a credit card.
Yep.
Our goal is to be more responsible with it.
Love that. I am a big, Dave Ramsey's cut your credit cards, don't use them.
Right.
I love credit cards. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of credit cards. I have one for like every business that we own. Nice. And they're different. And I get the freaking ones that you pay $700 a month for,
right.
Not a month, a year for, with all the perks. I'm not saying that's good financial advice. It's probably not, but we do accumulate a lot of travel points because we put all of our business expenses on credit cards, mm-hmm. and then I pay them off each month through the business. So for us, it's a free way. Like, I'm spending that money regardless. Mm-hmm. So why would I not accumulate the points for it? And the points have traveled. We have a lot of travel points, which is awesome. And we like to travel. So it's like, when you can do it responsibly,
that's the catch.
Credit cards are awesome.
That's why Dave
there's no
does what he does, is most people are not responsible enough to do it.
And that's where it's like, for the majority of people, you shouldn't use credit cards and you shouldn't use lines of credit because you're not going to use them responsibly. Right. But like, I have lines of credit on my real estate assets. They're called HELOCs, mm-hmm. and you can get HELOCs on rental properties through ICCU. Shout out to ICCU if you want a HELOC on your rental property. And usually, so this is responsible debt. If I use my HELOC, it's a line of credit that I can use at any time. I'll sometimes use my HELOC and pay, it's like 7% interest only payments on it. And I'll go buy maybe we're buying a flip or I'm funding a flip. And if I'm funding it, I know that I'm charging it out. The money charging out is 12% and 2 points. And I'm paying the bank 7%. So I'm making a spread of 5, 6, 7% on the money. And so I can use that responsibly. But a lot of people would use a HELOC and they'd go buy a car or renovate their house. And it's like, well, now you're just making monthly payments on that and it's not bringing you anything. When I use a line of credit or a credit card, it's for something that I'm already going to have to purchase and then I'm going to pay back. I'm just getting the benefit, or I'm using a line of credit and it's going towards something that's going to perform better than what I'm paying in interest.
Right.
The bank's willing to give me that money at 7. If I can go get it a better return on it somewhere else, you get arbitrage. Mm-hmm. It's not costing me anything. I'm making a spread on that money. So that's where it's like, and I enjoy that. That's the game, is how can you manipulate and use these things, but you have to understand them and you have to be responsible. Please don't do these things if you aren't responsible. You don't understand interest. You don't understand how this stuff works. Don't do it. Follow Dave Ramsey. Don't use credit cards. Only use your debit cards. But if you can be responsible and you know that if I put this on a credit card, it is getting paid off this month. I see that I have the money in my account. Mm-hmm. It's not, I don't have the money, so I'm going to put it on a credit card. Do not do that. I have the money in my account. I'm okay putting it on a credit card and then paying the credit card off,
right,
to get the points and the benefit. Where people get and what credit cards is they give you 30 days. Mm-hmm. So it's always 30 days in the rear. And that's where people get caught up, is they spend the $1,850. Mm-hmm. They don't have to pay that off so let's say you charge that this month. You're not going to get billed for that. It'll be at the end of the statement, mm-hmm. which might be mid-April. Mm-hmm. And then you have 30 days from the statement end date to pay that. So it might be 45 days before the bill actually comes due for that. So then people spend the money that they did have in their account, and then the bill comes due to pay the credit card, and they're like, oh yeah, freak, I forgot I needed the $1,850 to pay that off. And then they start accumulating interest. Credit cards are not stupid. They do that for a reason.
Right.
Less friction. You forget about it. You get 45 days to pay it. They're going to forget about it, and then they're going to start paying interest at 24%.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. And it's a trap.
It is.
So
Understand the like economics of a business. Why is a bank loaning you money on an amortized loan over 30 years? What is the benefit for them? Understand it and then play the game. What is a credit card trying to do? Understand it, play the game. So I just can't beat down enough. Like there's rules to all this stuff. And if you understand how it works and why, there's no free lunches. Nobody's just giving you free money. There's a motive behind everything.
Right.
Figure out what that is. And that sounds kind of skeptical and but you should be skeptical. Nothing's free.
Especially when it comes to money.
Especially when it comes to money. Nobody's going to loan you money not expecting to get a return on it.
Right.
So understand how that works. And then when you have the money, you have control and you can get a return on it and provide opportunities and do stuff. The money always makes money.
Yep.
Like the people that have money have the control. So get some control in your life. Get some money.
Yeah. So yeah, excited about it. Made some progress, even though it came down. We got goals being set.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you have any
Proud of you.
questions, yeah, thank you.
We're
excited.
Month 3, you've been
Month 3,
consistent.
you've been
It's
consistent.
the first of the month, so you got that updated right on the first of the month.
Yep.
Which I love. So if you guys, this is a reminder for you. You're probably not going to hear this for about a week or two, so it might be mid-April, but get your network tracker updated. Set a time the first of the month or the second of the month, right during that first week. Set a scheduled time where you sit down for 2 hours and you just update that. It's so good to just go through the numbers and log into the accounts and see what happened.
Yep.
Like some people are like, oh, I just use Rocket Money. It's like, nah, you should log into your accounts, see what happens. Like Kevin O'Leary, I was listening to a podcast with Kevin O'Leary, he's probably close to a billionaire. Every day at 4:05, he looks at his portfolio, his entire portfolio. He built a dashboard that shows him his real estate holdings, his equities, his stocks, everything. At 4:05, he gets on and he looks and he checks out to see what his money did today. If there's any big fluctuations, he looks at it. If something dropped or rose over 3%, he looks, because then he might move that money around. And so if you want to make more money, you got to get closer to your money. You've got to know where your money goes. You got to be looking at it. And that's how you're going to become wealthy. If you're not looking at your money, you're never going to be wealthy.
Yep.
So proud of you for looking at your money on a monthly basis.
It's been fun.
All right. Till next week. We'll catch you guys later.
Welcome to the chase where the champions dwell. To the grind, to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth. Every story, every journey, every climb from the shelf. Here's to the drive, to the fight, to pursue the wealth.